Everybody, I have one of comedy's rising stars, a great stand-up, awesome content creator, and one of Hartford's finest. Everybody, we are in a lucky position because Cliff Mula is on the Productive Conversations podcast today. Cliff, what's going on, brother?
What's going on? What's good with you, man?
Yeah, not too bad. Trying to change the world. I wake up every day thinking, how can I change the world? And I do with this podcast and whatever else I'm doing. How are you doing?
Musk or
something. Easily, man. Even in better ways.
I'm doing all right, man. I'm blessed and highly favored, I guess. I don't know. I couldn't find nothing cooler than that to say, but yeah, I'm all right. Can't complain.
I love it. Either way. I mean, you're Elon Musk in your own way, bro. Seriously. But let's get to it. Cliff Mula. One of the coolest things about you is the fact that you are a rising stand-up comedian. Is that correct?
Yep.
All right, man. In a world of comedy, in a world we're in, may I ask you, Cliff, why did you start to pursue stand-up comedy?
You want a long story or the short version?
I want the best one, but you can give the long one. We have ample time. I pay for it through Zoom, so I'm here for you.
I mean, I don't know. It started off when I was maybe like 17. I had like hoop dreams, but that shit wasn't working out.
Right.
So like I would smoke weed and I would like come home and watch Comic View on BET. Mm-hmm. And in the back of my mind, I wish I could do stand-up because I always liked comedy. I was just like a fan of the Wayans brothers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then I don't know. I started doing like internet videos and I was like 20. So I was into like, you know, I want to make movies and shit. So I did some like internet video. It kind of blew up. Got like 1,500 views around the hood neighborhood and shit.
No worry. It's pretty good to start.
I should have pursued it more. I regret not doing it in my early 20s. But I don't know. I was into like weed and hoes. And I did a couple like short movies, films and shit on YouTube. And then like when I was 23, I had a dream I did stand up. And then like a week later, this dude I know worked at a bar. Was like, yo, you should do this open mic. I'm like, all right, I'll do it. So I went there, I studied it. But I didn't do it till like 6 months later because it was kind of cold.
Right.
It was cold out. It was like January. And then one of my friends named Andre, I seen that he did stand up. So that kind of gave me like the extra push to do it. So July 28th, 2015, that's when I started stand up.
How about that? And you're still rolling just about 6 years later. Man, and man, dude, that's incredible, actually. You know, there's so many people we talk to and meet who's like, oh, I wish I could do stand-up, but I can't do it because I don't know how to do an act. I'm too scared to do it. But you actually pushed yourself through it. And you would say, like, the help of your friends and, other influence help you decide, like, that to get on stage like that?
Yeah, and I still get nervous when I get on stage, but I don't know. I think it's a part of my brain. I just don't care. Like, I'm just kind of like, I've been through worse things in life and people not laughing at my jokes. I've been through shit. So, like,
right.
If you don't laugh at my jokes, I just get off stage. I don't got to talk to you.
Definitely.
That I'm bombing. I do acknowledge it, but all right, cool.
You know, I definitely respect you as a comedian, and, I listen to comedian podcasts all the time. I mean, this is really a result. This podcast myself is a result of listening to so many comedian podcasts, whether you're Mark Maron's, Joe Rogan's, Joey Diaz's, stuff like that. And I think it's I think it's just really admirable what you did. Like, could you walk us through your first time ever on stage? Like, what does it feel like to be in front of those people and stuff like that?
My first time on stage, I already told you the date, but
yeah, in July 2015.
One of my friends named Doug Kellner, shout out to him. He told me about this open mic website called Lava. It's pretty much like Craigslist for open mics, and there was one in Manchester, Connecticut. So I called a person up. Like, yeah, we have open mics every Monday or Tuesday. I can't remember the day, but it was like a Tuesday. So I called them. 2 weeks later, I told my brother and I told like maybe two of my friends, like, yeah, I'm gonna do it for the first time. So I was already doing like Instagram clips and shit like that.
Right.
And then so my brother picked me up and he has like a big bottle of Remy 1738. He's like, yo, man, you drink. Nah, bro, I don't want to be drunk my first time doing stand-up. Like, yo, just drink it. I was like, all right, cool. I don't know what it was. I think it was I'm more of an energy guy, so if people like me already, I kind of like them, you know.
Definitely.
And one of the things, you got to make them like you even if they don't like you, you know. I'm still trying to figure that out. But I don't know. I just got up and I was happy. I didn't really have no jokes. I was just excited. I was just, yeah, I'm doing it, you know. Like
hell yeah.
You know, oh shit, what's this, you know? And I did some jokes about porn, typical.
Mm-hmm.
It was horrible. Now I look back on it, but I enjoyed myself. And then after I got off, I probably did like 4 minutes. Then after I got off stage, I went off and got drunk.
Mm-hmm. You definitely, it must have been probably the most, it's a weight off your shoulder drink. Yo, I actually did it. And what made you decide to do it a second time?
The first time I was on stage, I was like, this is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of my life.
No
I just
way.
knew it. I just like, all right, this is what I need to be doing. I was well aware that I sucked. I knew I wasn't that good because I like to like study things before I do it. So I listen to a lot of comedians go like, oh, it's gonna be a long road. It's gonna be hard. I'm like, so is my life. Whatever. Not a big deal. I've been through shit, so it's like, all right, I understand that. But I knew I wasn't funny. I knew they liked me. I knew I was funny, but I wasn't funny. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like correct me if I'm wrong, like, you know, your funny personality, but when it comes to actually telling jokes and telling stories, you needed to improve that skill.
Yeah, so I was well aware of that. But my first year stand up, I didn't really take it too serious because, like, I just didn't really know people. I didn't know you had to do it. Like, I didn't know it was an everyday thing until like a year later in. Because, like, I was a little bit of alcohol. Like, I was going out drinking, partying. I was 24, you know?
Right.
Stupid. So, but then, like, after a year, I started taking it more serious. And, like, oh, this is what I got to do. Because, like, maybe the second time I bombed in, like, Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Yeah.
Some guy, he talked to me, and, like, it kind of hit my soul a little bit. Because he's just telling me, like, oh, you got to be prepared. Like, how you come down here, you didn't have no jokes prepared or nothing. You was nervous. You wasn't confident, you know. And I kind of took that to heart. I'm like, you know, I'm gonna take this more serious. So, like, 2016, I started taking it more serious, meeting more people. Investing more in my craft, you know.
Cool.
I'm like taking buses, the trains, the like whatever, like get where I gotta go. I gotta be here, spend a lot of money on my pocket.
You know, as I told you, I listen to a lot of comedian podcasts, and you know, you can name the various ones. I mean, where's interviewing podcasting without the comedian influence? And yeah, they say like it takes a long time to find your voice almost, and it does take multiple years, but in the payoff, if you make it, you really make it. So do you feel, you know, as you're pursuing that, and I know it's different in a pandemic world, but do you have that end goal seen where you want to be, whether big stand-up, be it on those be it a huge name in it, like you're aware that, you know, it's going to take many years of abuse almost, like I heard Joey Diaz, like you sign up for like a good 5 years of abuse, but if you keep, you know, pushing it, then you're the famous comedian and people go to you. So is that something you always keep in mind as you pursue it? Like, this is going to be worth it at the end of the day?
Yeah, but sometimes, you know, I get a little jaded because, like, I put out content and it's not like what I wanted to be. Like, I don't have 15 million followers, you know. But I kind of I'm just learning more about myself. Like, I think I'm a likable person, but I'm not like a Kevin Hart type of dude. You know, I'm not like I can't explain it. I'm not gonna say everything PC and the right things at the right times. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a guy in a room. Like, I can be the guy that lights up the room, or for the most part, I'm just the guy in the back observing. I'm kind of more quiet, but I can be charismatic. But I'm not like turning on all the time. So I'm kind of getting more comfortable with myself with that stuff like that.
Right. And then I assume once you know, as you're figuring that out, you just put that in your act and stuff.
Oh yeah, I try to be like as real as possible, but you kind of like, I see comedy as like you having a conversation with your boys, but you got to be well aware that there's women present, you know.
For sure.
So like I can tell you some stuff, but I kind of word things a little different because, you know, even men too, they can get sensitive. Oh, I had to say it like that. but
Mhm.
sometimes you can't get everybody on your side. That's just something you got to deal with. That's something that I'm trying to get, because you kind of get in your head. You're up there, you're performing. It's like 100 people laughing, but there's that one person that's like, well, you talked about sea lions, and I like sea lions, and it was kind of like, yo, motherfucker, like, cause that's when the anger come out, like, yo, man, it's a joke, But then you gotta be like, all right, he doesn't like it. He's entitled to his opinion. Other people like it, but you're just still focusing on one person. It's that rejection factor.
Really? So you're someone, if you do get 100 people in a room, you make 99 of them laugh. With that one person, you will remember in your head figuring out like, oh, what can I do with that? It's just a
All
natural
comedians,
thing.
I don't know what it is about it.
Yeah, I heard Conan O'Brien talk
like,
about
all
it.
right, 99 other people laugh, so that's cool. But it'd be like, it makes you just think like, yo, what was his problem?
Yeah, I
Sometimes
remember.
it's not even the comedian; it's just them.
Right. I remember hearing Conan O'Brien talk about that specifically. Like, my whole night is defined by that one person. And, should comedians really focus on that or keep moving on? Or like you said, it's just a natural thing all comedians have.
Just keep moving on, man. I'm not gonna focus on my attention to someone that's not giving me attention. But I
Right.
get it. After a while, comedians, you kind of do get jaded because, like, I do open mics and stuff like that, and you see a lot of people like this. Like for example, the first time I did comedy, second time I did comedy, I went up to this guy. He's probably been doing it like 6 years, and I'm
Mhm.
talking to him trying to pick his brain, but he kind of blew me off. But I was kind of mad. Like, yo, it was good with him, but then like a year or two later, he seen I was doing comedy. I was consistent with it. He was like, nah, I probably blew you off when I first met you. I'm like, yeah. He's like, nah, I just do that to people because people come and go in comedy. Like, literally, there's a lot of people that come in comedy. They do it for like 3 months, fuck a bunch of people, and then they just leave. It
Yeah,
happens a lot. I've been doing it 5.5 years. I've seen that a lot. So, but now I'm at his point. Now I'm going on 6 years. So like, I see what he means. You know what I mean?
yeah. It's kind of like I feel that the consistency part is the most important when creating content because there's so many people who can just sign up for an open mic. I see it in the podcasting. I'm very new to this and I still have my ways to go and I have respect to earn. But so many other people trying to make podcasts that I've seen. And, again, I'm only a few months in, but I've seen so many people like say, oh, I'm going to do this and then that. They'll do the podcast for like a month and then they'll bounce and never do it again, or they give up on it. And like, at least for me, I still have a long ways to go and a reputation to earn. But I figure at least with me, as long as I keep doing shows, bring on interesting people like the great Cliff Mula and others, then I can at least start getting respect. That's like, okay, this guy's taking it seriously enough to not make it a phase. Is that the same thing with comedy?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
And
Cool.
I just respect hard work too. Even when that guy did blow me off, I kind of got it a little bit in that moment because like I'm a type of dude I can get angry, but I can like sometimes be logical too. Like, oh, he probably gets this all the time, you know.
Yeah.
Probably gets this all the time. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I'm gonna make him one day. I always think that I'm competitive. I'm like, all right, one day he's gonna respect me, know who I am. So we're on the subway. 2 years later, 18 months later, we're on a subway in a train or whatever, like drinking Henny, and he's like having a conversation with me.
Oh
After
man,
just
you
coming from
earned
New
it.
York performing.
Yeah, it's I'm sure it's a jungle out there, but your place and you just love to perform. So, transitioning to that, as you generate material, what's your way of generating material? I've heard like the best way to live a comic generates material is just living life and observing things. What does Cliff Mula do specifically to generate material?
I just live life. If it makes me laugh, like really, I'm really thinking about it. I just be like, you know what, let me try it, and then you go up on stage. Cause I'm more of a guy like with comedy, you gotta get a reaction out of people.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the weirdest, craziest shit is just funny. I don't know what it is. You gotta be
Right.
interesting. You gotta, you know, something of like, what about you makes you want to listen for like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, It's all like, what's next? What's next? What's next? So like something that's like out of the ordinary, but not like too crazy. I just think about it and I just go on stage, talk about it. So he gets a laugh, gets a response, and he just build on it. But I just normally just live life.
Word. I hear that. And that's what, it seems to make sense. how could you connect with an audience if you're not living amongst them, even as a comedian? So yeah, that must be fun. That must be fun research to do for you, you know?
And you gotta just know what people like too. Something I don't know. It's just all subjective. Like with me, people always tell me look like I'm smiling, having a good time, but like that's just how I've been when I was young. Like ranking on people, roasting people. I might be thinking of something, be smiling, and then my friends that know me like, "What you thinking about, Cliff? Like this guy looks like a whatever, whatever." You know what I mean? It's like, he doesn't like so and so. So
Definitely.
like it has to make me laugh first. So it's all about confidence. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
like,
talk about stuff I don't believe in.
right. I've been watching some of your material and looking at it before the show, like when you were talking about, for instance, like wiping off an STD in the shower and pretty much like that. Like it's around those lines. That just, naturally that was hilarious to try to make that off. Or, you were talking about like why do girls turn into hoes, whether it's because they have no dad or stuff like that. Like stories like that as you continue material, are those more like, besides you mentioning stuff you think, are those also like personal experiences? Are you someone who puts personal experiences in your act and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, personal experience, but you kind of embellish it.
Hmm.
And those jokes are like snippets of like jokes that I'm talking about for 2-3 minutes,
Right.
Because that one with the STD thing, I'm trying to do a joke about how I got burnt from a girl that lives on Burnside Avenue. I know it's funny, right?
I mean,
It's ironic.
you had the
Very
warning right
personal
there.
experience, but I found it very ironic. I'm like, this is hilarious. I can't wait to do a joke about this. But that was like 3 years ago.
You want to know one funny thing that I saw, like in terms of you know obviously we have to be, we're in a pandemic, so we're just always trying to be safe. But this guy said, on his Facebook post, that this girl got these two hooked up, and they both got COVID, and the girl got COVID, and she was like, "You gave me COVID," and then he said he took a COVID test. He comes up negative. So he's like, "Yo, this must be what it's like when you're on Jerry Springer, you're told you're not the father." I'm like, "Oh man, this is the world we live in now." So it's always funny when I always appreciate comedians who are willing to put themselves out there like that. And at the end of the day, we're all relating to it. That's
Yeah, I
comedy's true,
mean,
right?
but sometimes
One way
people
or
will. Like,
another.
I'm starting to get more to the point. Like, I don't care if you're like uncomfortable. I'm still gonna have a good time.
Mm-hmm. Transitioning to that, comedy's in a delicate place right now, as we're more PC. Seems people getting more offended than ever, and it's causing various opinions on making comedy. Like, how do you treat, as you? I mean, you might answer this already, saying you don't care as long as you're laughing. You know, as long as you're not like totally offending someone. How do you strive when creating your material and comedy in this PC world we're living in?
I just be myself, man. Like, if you like it, cool. Follow me. If you don't, go fuck yourself. It's pretty simple. But I mean, I try to get everybody to like me. But I don't know. I'm just kind of a more blunt and raw and honest guy.
Right.
Uh, did I learn some key terms and like certain things to do? Like when I first started comedy, I used to curse a lot for like no reason. I was very, very raw. But then one of my friends, shout out to Mo Green Vega dude, he was like, "Oh, you kind of cursing too much. Sometimes you gotta just make it a little silly. So
Mm-hmm.
like instead of saying fuck, you just say like make love, or like do the baloney Tony, something stupid." I'm like, all
Yeah.
right, that makes sense. Cause I like silly stuff like that too. So I'm like, all right. I say
Mm.
shit like that sometimes. I'm like, all right, yeah, you right. And then it ends up working. But then sometimes you have to add in a curse word, like if you're like passionate in a joke or something, or this is what somebody said.
Right,
Because
right.
can I say the F word on this?
Yeah, yeah. Say whatever you want.
All right. So like one time I was in like Northampton, Mass. This is like 4 years ago, and
Mm-hmm.
Northampton is very like liberal and PC. So I'm telling a story. This is a true story. I was performing in New York, and my friend was like, "Good luck at your show. Hope you fail." And he's
Mm-hmm.
white, and then he calls me a sexy. So I
That's what he
say
called
it.
you.
Yeah, he called me sexy back. I was like, "What?" So I say the joke as I'm saying it right now on stage, and the crowd got silent because I said the word.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of like confident, like, yeah, I said it, so what? And I just kept powering through the joke, and they got kind of like at ease because they was like, all right, this guy's not, he doesn't mean nothing by it. This is what this guy told me. And I was like, doesn't that make him one? You just call me sexy and black, you know?
Mm-hmm. I think, you know what, at least a comedy fan, like, I'm sure you have a good take on this too. I think there's a clear difference when a comedian is doing a bit than their actual thoughts. And I think so many people just want to jump in to try to either cancel someone or push them out. That's just unfair. Like, you're a comedian, so I'm sure you know the difference between a bit and your actual thoughts. Like, how do you dance with that and people feel some type of way?
I mean, I don't really care. Like, if they come up to me, I'm pretty laid back. I'm pretty like, I don't say political, but if they come like, yo, I got offended, I will apologize. Like, yo, that's not my intent to hurt your feelings. I was just trying to be funny.
Right.
I get you to understand that. But if they keep coming at me, I'm a person. So I'm gonna be like, yo, you want to step outside? I'm from Hartford. Like, yo, you want to step outside and really have a problem? Let's fight. And they're gonna be like, oh no, bro, it's not that serious. Exactly. Not that serious.
Man, I
you
like
want to
the
go
way
on
you
fist
think.
fight and what we argue. I'm not gonna argue with you. I don't got time. You don't like what I said. Cool. It hurts my feelings a little bit, but that's it. You said what you said. Continue with your day. Better
that than physical. I mean, you know, when someone gets punched over getting offended at a joke, that's how you know it's.
Yeah, then you go get in the car like, damn, I should just, you know. I heard comedians say things I don't like. I mean, for the most part, I don't really get offended, but I'm like, yo, that's kind of corny. What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
But if I'm friends with them, I could pull them to the side. I'm like, yo, don't do that no more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But comedians are very sensitive people, so some of them take it the wrong way. But I got a good read on people. I can know who I can talk to a certain way and who I don't.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it's all about me. I don't really give a shit what the other comedian does.
I respect that. I hear that. Get your own voice. You want to know one funny bombing story I heard with things going too far? So this is like 8 years ago. Hurricane Sandy hits. There's this up-and-coming stand-up comedian, right? I can't think of the guy's name, but you know Ralph Macchio, the Karate Kid? No? Have you ever seen the Karate Kid? Heard of it?
Seen a little bit of it. I wouldn't know if I see him on the street.
Okay, but you know what the Karate Kid is, you know, big movie, 80s, stuff like that. Exactly. So the Karate Kid, Ralph Macchio, he is in the audience for this benefit. This comedian really didn't like the Karate Kid. He saw it with his boys like in the 90s as a kids, and he was like, man, if I get the chance to tell the Karate Kid something, I'm gonna. 20 years later, as he's trying to grow his career, he sees the Karate Kid, Ralph Macchio. And he was like, oh, man, this is my chance. He just throws his material away. The very first joke, he says, hey, Ralph Macchio, you don't know karate, and I could kick your ass. And then no one thought it was about it. It just killed his vibe the whole time. And he tries to do he does his 10 minutes, no laughs at all. And then, you know, and then he still tried to say the jokes. He's trying to go back to the Karate Kid. And then there's this heckler goes and says, hey, man, if you don't get off the stage, we'll kick your ass. Haven't heard from him since.
I like shit like that. Raw, honest in your face.
I guess he just...
Oh, my God. I love that.
I feel bad. I don't remember the guy's name. Who knows where he is now? But, man, talk about vibes. Like, you ever dealt with hecklers or anything like that? Do you have a certain way to deal with them?
I'm still learning on that because I got a little bit of a temper. Like, I'm kind of like, I mean, I can laugh things off for the most part. I can make jokes about it and be calm. But, like, I don't know, man. It all depends, though. Like, it all depends on what you say and how you say it. Because, like, some people... hecklers, sometimes they're the people that, like, they want to do stand-up, but they're kind of scared, so they just do stand-up from the chairs. It bothers me because it's like, yo, you're not part of the show. Like,
yeah,
I'm on stage, I'm talking. Now, don't get me wrong, if I'm talking to you, then cool. But then I don't know, you can do shows with black people, and I'm the same way. Like I speak my mind when I'm watching a movie. Like, yo, what the fuck? This is crazy, damn, yo. Like I'll do that, especially with people's jokes. Like I'll be like, yo, that's stupid, yo, you funny, yo. I'm like that, but every now and then I'll be like, yo, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
That's bad. I gotta learn to stop doing that. But I got a heckler story. I remember one time I was bombing at the Funny Bone in Hartford or Manchester. I don't like saying Hartford. The Hartford Funny Bone in Manchester, Connecticut, right? And, it's a 3-man show. It's me, the feature, the headliner. So I go up. It's an all-black crowd. I see a couple people I went to high school and like elementary school with. And about 2 minutes in, I was doing horrible. So I'm like talking through my teeth, like, yeah, tough crowd. Then I just maybe like minute 3 or 4. I had 10 minutes, mind you. I just start cussing everybody out. Man, fuck y'all, man.
You're doing the Bill Burr.
I'm still getting paid. And then I cussed them out, talking shit. One Puerto Rican lady was like, "Oh, you're not funny." No, I did a joke of talking about how someone goes to jail.
Yeah.
And then she was like, "They need to take you to jail." And I'm like, "Yeah, that shit sucked my heart." I was like, "Fuck." But then, so anyways, I get mad. I do my 10 minutes. I cut people out like 5 minutes in. The last 5 minutes. And I go to the drinking area, to the little bar. I get a drink. I'm talking to TK Kirkland. I'm mad. Big Reg was there. They was laughing at me and shit. And he's like, "Oh, don't worry. You'll find your stride or whatever. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm mad, but I know I'll get over it." But I get back on stage. It's 300 people in the crowd, black people, right? I get back on stage to bring up the feature. They go, "Oh." Like, you again? You again? And like I go like, I smiled a little bit like, damn, but I was mad. I'm like, I'll be real. I'm gonna get raw. They got raw.
Yeah.
So like, fuck y'all, man. I just started talking a whole bunch of shit. Then I was like, man, fuck this fat Puerto Rican bitch right here. And they went, oh, I'm like, oh, so y'all can tell me I suck. Y'all can tell me fuck me. I can't say fuck you. So. And then the Puerto Rican lady goes, "Boo, nigga, tomatoes, nigga, tomatoes, nigga, tomatoes, nigga."
Wow, it turned into a battle, huh?
I'm like, "What? You making me a sandwich, you fat bitch? Fuck you!" Like,
you ever see like those videos of Bill Burr when he comes at crowds that are like destroying him? That's like you, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I rarely do it, and sometimes, I don't know, comedians are people, so you might catch me on an off day.
Yeah.
So, like, you catch me on an off day, and you're kind of bugging me, because I've told other comedians at open mics, like, yo, you're not funny, stop talking to me, like, they try to do crowd work, and they probably won't do comedy again, like, comedy kind of, like, it does get you a little jaded, because you just see a lot of bullshit, you're like, yo, I ain't got time for this. Right. See a lot of weirdos. You see that people that have no social skills, don't know how to talk to people. So after a while of trying to ignore, you're gonna say something like, "Yo, man, you stupid. Get the fuck out of here," It just builds up over time.
Yo, man. While we get to that, working with other comedians, as you said, you've worked. I'm sure whether it's open mics or wherever, you've dealt with various comedians. As you said, I'm sorry, some are awesome to be around, and as you said, some are socially awkward, and then some, as you mentioned, just suck. And but despite all that, do you feel there's like a nice comedy community, like it's special together? Like that's what I hear, at least from like my comedy podcast. Do you feel that there's some semblance there or something in your personal experience?
Yeah, because I've had a couple comedians that like they're some of like my best friends now. I wouldn't even know them like 3 years, And then some like I don't really like them too much. Like almost fought one comedian before, but that was after like he's like very like PC, He used to run an open mic in I'm not even gonna say it. Hey, he's fucking he can't beat me up. But he used to run an open mic in New Haven.
Oh yeah.
And he's white, kind of like Rick Moranis, and he's kind of like, well, these jokes these comedians are to say, I don't agree with what they're saying. It might be offensive. Like he has to like pre-warn people, and we're like, bro, it's open mic. Like,
yeah.
I guess you can say some people are gonna say some stupid shit, but it's just all practice. That's all he gotta say. But I don't know. I would do jokes because my humor's a little edgy. and he would keep saying things like, you know, I do jokes about Hitler, I do jokes about whatever, and people would laugh, and he would, if he'd go up after me, he would say something like, "Whoa, Cliff, that's the way to talk about the Jews. I guess you can just say anything." Like, yo, bro, I know you're Jewish, but the context is not. It's funny. I'm not
like you said,
shitting
yeah,
on Jews.
you're doing a bit. That's not your personal feelings. You're doing a bit.
Yeah, like it's like if you do a racist bit about like I don't know Southerners, you might say some shit that they don't like black people. It's true, like they don't, you know. But he kept saying things, and I did this one joke, and at the end of the joke, I went yes, saying that I'm gay, right? And he gets up and is like, that's homophobic.
Oh.
So like, there's been 6 months of him just keep coming at me. I don't say nothing. I was like, yo, man, fuck you, yo. Fuck you. So I kind of walk out because I'm mad. I want to beat him up.
Right.
But then I hear him call my name. So I'm like, he's talking shit again. So like, I saw red. I was like, yo, I'm going to go beat this dude up. But I ended up just winning a hoodie and a raffle. So I'm like, all right, cool.
I'll take that. Because Dave, it's like, you know, I'm sure you've seen the Joe Rogan and Carl Mencia beef. He just hops on stage for calling him out for joke stealing. Man, that's so. I guess that's some of that beef. And then you saw them arguing on the street stuff. Like, man, I guess sometimes it does get tense out there.
Well, yeah, because like people forget, like comedians are human, bro. Like I'm a pretty calm dude, but like if someone's like keep coming at me and like keep talking shit, it's like, bro, like what you want to do? Like I don't want to seem like I'm an angry guy, but it's like it kind of disrespecting me.
Right. It's just jokes. It's. I mean, whether you're doing comedy or just being funny in your everyday life, I just like I just don't get the patience that people don't have. I really don't.
Yeah, but like most of these people, like now I'm starting to know, like they don't even last that long. Like they'll do it, and then they'll just stop. Most of them do it as like a hobby. It's like hobbyists.
Mm-hmm.
Then they do comedy in the Connecticut area, and that's it. They talk about 84 and topical jokes like that, WFSB and all that shit.
Dutches and stuff like that.
Fuck the 860, like bullshit like that.
Yo, man, like how is the comedy scene in Connecticut in general, specifically? Like you said, they talked about Connecticut references and stuff. But have you been able to perform, once this pandemic started in Connecticut? Like, have you been performing anywhere else besides your home state since this has been going on and stuff?
I've been in New York like once, maybe a month and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
I went out there and I bombed, and then I don't know, some shitty open mic on Lower East Side. I have been kind of lazy with the comedy. Like I just like no, I need to stay out in Connecticut because I'm just kind of broke. I'm still working a job.
Yeah.
This past summer I ain't really been doing shit. I've been spending the stimulus checks on bullshit.
And just wait. Are you just waiting for like this? Hey man, as long as you're still grinding, getting material one way or the other. But are you waiting?
I definitely wrote some jokes down, but it's with comedy you got to do it like, especially if you're in New York, you could do it 2 or 3 times, a night. Now I'm just like maybe once a week.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm focusing more on like putting out content. I got a TikTok now and shit like that, and I'm trying to focus more on that because I'm kind of more comfortable on stage now. I got some material, so now I'm trying to build my fan base bigger.
Before we get into that content creation, like, are you waiting for this pandemic to end, more people get vaccinated, and then they could say, "Be free now, do what you want"? Do you expect to be back on stage after that?
Yeah, I mean, I still perform. I perform at this place called the Elbow Room in West Hartford.
Yeah.
But now we're performing at some place called the Shish Kebab House. It's like right around the corner in Blueback Square. Shout out to Paul Gregory. He's a good dude. But yeah, he has shows now. It's been the past 2 weeks. He's been having shows on Fridays and Saturdays. Oh, it's kind of good to get out the house and stop being home in your thoughts all day.
Bro, amen to that. I think people underestimate. You can only be home for so long with your thoughts.
Yeah, I don't like it.
That's why I said, the only political thing, Actually, no, I won't even touch it. But I was just saying, like, sometimes your biggest punishment is just being alone with your thoughts. That's all I'll say with that. And
being a comedian though, very introverted, very you're home by yourself, or if you're in a car by yourself, driving like an hour, you're just thinking of shit, and that's when you can come up with some brilliant shit. You know, you're home, you're emotional, you get some crazy shit, and you're like, you know what, I'm gonna put this into a bed. A lot of part of comedy is pain. Pain is funny.
Yeah, Kevin Hart's one of his specials is called "Laugh at My Pain."
Yeah, that's funny. But then when you look at it, that's not funny. That's fucked up. But
no, that's what happens. That's
how we laugh at you more people holding you.
Yeah, it feels it makes more audiences comfortable if you just make fun of yourself.
Yeah.
He's laughing at himself. I'll laugh at him.
People can relate to that. Being poor is always going to be funnier than being rich.
Yeah, what rich stories can you really tell that are funny?
Hopping on a jail was funny. Hopping in a jail, hopping on a bus with bums.
Yo, can I just ask, what is it like to perform in New York on the times you had?
Great. It's a little overrated, in my opinion. But I get it. It's the mecca of comedy. It's because so much people, and Bill Burr lived there, and Dave Chappelle, Mike Epps, all these people.
Yep.
I get it. I love performing it. I love performing out of state anywhere I go. But sometimes it's kind of a little overrated because it's like there's a lot of politics behind that.
Right.
So like, but part of in comedy, being funny is like the 10th thing you need to be.
Really? Why is that?
Because sometimes it's just all about being likable, being marketable. Like, like if you're like a good-looking guy, you're kind of charismatic, but your jokes are like average, you can go farther than like some like ugly, average, Louis C.K. looking dude. Louis C.K. is funny, don't get me wrong, but he's not like a heartthrob or nothing.
Right.
You just get by quicker than that, Or you just know somebody, or sometimes you just get lucky.
Yeah.
I see some of these people on Instagram, like, I don't find them that funny. Like, how did you blow up? This is like caca, but
they just hit the right note, huh?
Yeah, people like them. It's all luck. It's all luck, man. It's all this shit's luck.
Solid. That's pretty solid. Pretty solid. And we all know the great Cliff Mula is going to be in that company once that time's ready too. So, I'm not trying to kick your ass or anything. Like, I genuinely like your bits and what you have. Like your subway bit from New York, for instance, was hilarious. The one where you were, you dressed up. The one in New York City, probably like a year ago or around there.
Subway, I don't remember.
Where's my phone? Did you do what? Like it was like during the pandemic, like early on and something.
Oh, the video with my boy.
Yeah, like you were just right in the middle of the subway. I was just like, this dude's a savage, and this was like right around pandemic time. I was like, man, this guy's gonna die for his art, or if he doesn't care to that.
I don't believe in COVID, man.
Oh man. So and then like what were just some of the other states you've performed out of? You mentioned Massachusetts, looking at other places you've had.
Rhode Island. I've been to Cali once. Pretty much just I haven't really been too many places. I've been in maybe like 6 or 7 states.
Cool.
Been to Rhode Island, Connecticut, obviously, New York, Cali, Mass. Am I missing something else? I don't remember. That's probably it, like 5 states.
Cool. And definitely, I'm glad to see. I'm excited to see what the next states you're gonna go to. And there was one time you performed at the comedy club in Norwalk. I mean, you told me, but I genuinely was with my grandma that day. I really wanted to see, but I think the club closed. I can't think of the name. It was the Paint Art House. Yeah.
Great room. I missed that room.
I don't know. I think they might have been closed out for the pandemic, but someone's gonna slide in there.
But those guys, they still run shows. Shout out to like Cody Marino and Bo McDowell. They're running that. I know them from Norwalk. They're like running this thing now. I forgot where they're running it, but it's somewhere in Norwalk. I can't remember where.
I want to, dude. Please let me know if you find out, because obviously that's where I'm living at the moment. So I'm definitely trying to slide in. I miss comedy. You want to know one thing? You know where I interviewed once for a job? At Caroline's.
Doing what?
For Caroline's assistant. She needed a new assistant.
Oh, that's the actual person?
Yeah, Caroline. I can't think of her name. Shit. And I interviewed her. I'll tell you the story real quick. What's her last name? Caroline Hirsch. I interviewed her. I interviewed to be her assistant. And it was like, this was maybe 2 weeks before the pandemic, 2-3 weeks before the pandemic. And it was like a random, like Wednesday afternoon at noon. I went in, I went across the street with my suit to the comedy club to myself. She told me like come at like 11 and she didn't come like for 15 minutes. So I'm sitting at the comedy club empty. The only person was like the person working the box office. And I was just chilling there, seeing all the great comedians on the walls. Like, wow, this is a pretty legit place. And, I just see her coming through and you felt this presence, man, this person's created so many opportunities. And we talked for a good, like half an hour and it went really well. She had a lot of nice things to say about my experience at the time. And she said she really liked talking to me, but I guess not enough because I didn't get the job. But, hey, it was a cool opportunity for what it was. And I was glad she considered me. And maybe another time I could slide in, get you, and we can.
No.
We can get you some stage time. Do you want to be a comic? Do I want to be a comic? I do like comedy a lot, and I like writing. I have considered doing stand up in the past. Yes, in terms of writing writing an act, I could use some help. But it's in the back of my mind. You never know. I'll say that.
You might as well try it, man. That could be another skill you can do. It's all about different hustles.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I genuinely love talking to people. I don't really have stage. I'm sure it's different once you're actually up there. But, at least at this moment, I can't say because I haven't tried it yet. It's probably a different beat, a different vibe. But I do like talking to people. I do this podcast all the time. I've done this podcast for a few months, so I'm used to talking about different things. I think I'm funny. I like to put myself out there with random stuff. You're right. Never say never. You never know, Cliff. You never know.
Hey, you should try it. If they don't like your jokes, walk off stage.
I appreciate it. Like you, and if people hate me and push me away, I don't really care. One time I said to my dad, yo, Dad, I'm thinking pretty down. I was saying I was like sad about something. And it's like, man, I'm not really feeling it, whatever. My dad said, you're being delusional. I thought he'd be like, oh, it's going to be okay, son. Push around. He's like, oh, you're being delusional. And I was like, you know what? My dad says that. Who really cares what another person hates my jokes, right? And, not trying to be a downer or anything. My dad said that. He's just being, he's just, you're being your dad and say whatever. And I didn't take it personally. It was just, I just found that really funny because, in our crazy world, some people like drop down and like figure out every way to make this person happy. But no, he's like, stop being a bitch almost. And I was like, all right, you're right.
Yeah, I had a friend like that once. I don't know, he had like a messy breakup with his ex.
Mm-hmm.
So like, she was doing a typical woman thing, like, oh, I ain't call you in a while, so let me call you so I could be in your brain and you could miss me, boosting up her ego. I shut on women every chance I get. But anyway, he's driving. I'm in the passenger seat. He's like, oh, bro, what am I doing? My ex is calling me right now. I'm like, yo, just look at your phone. Put it right back in your pocket. And he started laughing. It's like, it's not that simple. I'm like, yes, it is. I just told you. Look at your phone.
It really is.
You don't want to talk to her? Don't talk to her. That's it.
Right? And just don't be afraid to be different. Like, I'm sure you have that too. Like, you're very comfortable in your own skin. And I think I assume that's probably a huge step when to do comedy and stuff. So I really don't care if people make fun of me. I've admitted so many embarrassing stories on this podcast that like no one would expect or hear. Like imagine I've said this before, just a short story. I was in Theta Chi at UHeart. I really want to take this girl to formal, and I like put a strong effort. I wouldn't do this now, but you know, I made like this video. Like I didn't make it viral or anything. Like it was like, here, like if you want to go, you want to go. But it took like 2 weeks to make and trying all this stuff, and you know, she couldn't make it. You know, whatever her reason was, true one or not. If she
Probably
just didn't
somebody
want to
else.
go. Maybe probably just as I was texting her while she's, you know, hooking up with someone next with the phone on. Maybe it could be a situation like that, but for whatever reason she didn't go. And so, you know, Sam Anchari, our boy mutual friend, he hooks me up with it. He sets me up with this nice girl who just fucks someone else informal. So think about it. I do all this effort to get a nice formal date only to get somebody else to, you know, hook up with someone else.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Sam, you know, ladies love Sam. I'll tell you that. Ladies love Sam. But, oh, well, it's just like little tidbits like that. Some people could find that, like one person thought that was traumatic for me. It is not traumatic compared to what actual trauma is. It's hilarious. It is hilarious looking back. And,
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel bad when I get rejected, but after a while, I just sit there and be like, it's done.
yeah,
once I let go, I go.
And then,
I'm not going to bring it back.
And then, you know, someday we'll just find someone who appreciates who we are. So why get hung up on it, you know?
Oh, yeah. I definitely told girls, like, yo, I don't want to talk to you no more. You're wasting my time. Delete my number.
Delete
Have
my
a nice
number.
life, though. It's the best, but you're not free.
Right. Yeah.
I don't want to babble.
It's sometimes you're just not on the same vibe as other people. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
Because, like, we're all users. We all want people for our own special gain. So why let a woman come in my life, babble me about other guys she's fucking when I want to fuck, but I can't? That's all I want. I don't like you as a person. Don't find it interesting. Leave. Find somebody else to babble to.
I hear you.
Why would I waste my time?
Exactly. So why waste your time and be afraid? It's going to be all right. Yo, so one thing you mentioned, Cliff, and one thing I've seen of you doing often is you do your own content creation. As you mentioned, do TikTok, Instagram videos, YouTube, all that. So talk to me about that. So you mentioned since you're now more comfortable on stage, you want to show your comedy at another level. Talk to me about the little clips and content creation and videos you make.
Like, what about it? Like, how do I come up with it? Or?
Yeah, like, how do you come up with it? What's, you know, little bits, doing short films? What do you do to create some awesome videos for us all to enjoy?
I don't know. I'm just always in my own head. Like, sometimes it just, like, I did a video with the subway thing and my boy. I was drunk editing a video, and when I get drunk and edit videos, I kind of, like, procrastinate a lot because, like, let's say I can edit something for 4 hours. It would take me 8 because, like, that 4 hours, I'm probably listening to music and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I listened to the song "Sailing" which is the song that's playing in the video, and that's my KT. KT's like one of my best friends, and he loves that song, and I love that song too, and I love him. So I'm like, damn, this song reminds me of him. And then I don't know, my mind just went places like, all right, what's some like funny shit that I can just do, you know? And I don't know, I just edit it in my head a lot, and then when I feel comfortable, I just do it. And then sometimes I just go with the flow. Like, I have an idea, but I don't know where I want to go. But I'm like, just try it, you know?
Cool. Yeah, and some of the stuff's hilarious. As I mentioned, the subway bed, and like anytime you, one time I saw you cross-dressing, which was hilarious, and the way you were going about that, it's interesting. Like, you create these cool characters. Are you cooking up anything for the near future that's coming out?
I'm just trying to put out more content. I got some ideas I want to do for like YouTube, but right now I'm just trying to get things more situated financially because I'm broke. And I got to move out of my parents' house. I need more camera equipment. I need more shit. I'm seeing people with more shit. I'm like, I need to kind of like, I mean, I gotta be patient, but I gotta like, there's a lot of other things that people are doing, you know?
Definitely.
I gotta keep up with the times.
What do you think is your best work you've put out there? What's your what's your proudest video or a few videos you've done so far? And where can we find them on YouTube?
mostly on my Instagram.
Instagram and
like those skits, like the one with on the subway. That video, I like that the one the most because it's more sentimental to me because I did it with like my best friend and his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know. I don't really like. I like it for like a week, but then I'm like, what's new? I'm like, on to the next one. But every now and then I sit back and be like, oh shit. I really realize it when like I'm at a gas station. I'm at, I don't know, I'm getting a grinder somewhere. And some random ass nigga I knew from the hood or like some white dude I know was like, oh, you're funny. Like that really brightened my day. I'm like, damn. Sometimes I brighten my day.
That's cool. That's awesome to hear.
My little work boots or whatever, and I'm just feeling like a bum. Like, damn. That's the one thing about comedy though. Like, it's humbling. Like, cause you could like be killing it on Friday, Saturday, get a girl number, all this shit. You feel like the man, but then Monday come, you go back to work. You getting yelled at. You doing some bullshit. You don't want to beat it. And I gotta do this like 150 million more times.
But then when you hit, you're
safe. Like, damn.
But hey, once you hit, you hit.
Yeah.
Yo. And you can find Cliff's great work on Instagram at Cliff Mula. One word together.
One word.
Yo, Cliff, talk to me about some of your biggest influences. Who are you? You mentioned you really started to get into comedy through BET. Like, who are some of your favorite comedians who inspire you to do comedy?
I feel like Dave Chappelle and like Bill Burr, Patrice O'Neal a lot.
R.I.P.
Definitely R.I.P. Patrice O'Neal. Definitely Patrice O'Neal. Because I see his stand up and I'm like, that's kind of like me, like laid back and just honest.
He didn't give a fuck way back when. You ever hear that story about him jerking off in Kevin Hart's room?
Mm-hmm.
He's like bouncing around. Oh man. Yeah, I love like I said, huge stand up. I mean, I love Eddie Murphy. I actually watched Delirious for the first time last week. It was great. There's some stuff that didn't age well. Yeah, Raw is better, but still, I mean, talk about holding nothing back. And I just love when he walked off stage. He was like, all right, which club we going to? I think
he was a rock star, man. He had it.
Yeah, imagine being Eddie Murphy in the 80s. Man. I mean, he saved Saturday Night Live, Coming to America, Trading Places, 48 Hours, hits after hits, obviously Raw and Delirious. Eddie Murphy is probably my favorite. I also really like
Eddie Murphy Raw. That definitely gave me the idea to start stand up when I was like 15. I remember watching it with my brother and we were like, it was on what's that shit called? Comedy Central, Uncut or whatever.
Oh, they uncut it? Now that's where you at.
Yeah, we saw it like 1 or 2 in the morning. It was like I think it was during like Christmas time. It's still my favorite special of all time. Like it still makes me laugh.
As you, it's my favorite of all time. As you see, like clearly I have a lot of memorabilia on the wall, posting stuff. But next to me is Eddie Murphy from Raw, right here.
That's beast.
The classic, with his classic wardrobe in that. But other ones I really like you said, Bill Burr's great. Burt Kreischer, Whitney Cummings, Annie Letterman. Off the top of my head, that's all I like. I like Joe Rogan's stand-up. I went to the Comedy Store once in LA when I went to LA like last October, not October 2019, and Jesus Trejo opened for the special guest, and it was Damon Wayans, and he went in, brought him out there, Damon Wayans Sr., and that was a treat.
Was he good?
He was on point. I guess he was just working on new material. And then he also went at the crowd and he said, man, I don't want to really do material like 30 minutes. And I guess he did 45 minutes or something. And he just was clucking people off, roasting.
I'll be fine. I went to the Comedy Store too.
Really? Who'd you see?
I was in the small room. I can't remember the name.
Yeah, they have like the original room, the main room.
Room or some shit like that. It was a very small room. It was like 20 people in. I saw one of the dudes from ESPN in there. It's like Samai. Almin Asan or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw a couple comics. They're kind of like, I think one of them chicks was on Guy Code, Esther Q, cool, some Asian broad.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, but I see some other dude, and his name is Derek Gaines. He opens up for Pete Davidson. He was in Pete Davidson's movie too.
Oh, no way. I love Pete Davidson. He's another one comedian I like. Yo, do you think you could see yourself doing a Monday? I know they do open mics on Mondays at the Comedy Store. Like, do you feel those big places?
Oh yeah. LA is where I went to get my confidence. Honestly.
Oh, no way. Where did you perform in LA?
I performed in Burbank. I did a lot of open mics. I did the Flappers. I did the Improv.
No way.
Yeah, these are all open mics though. This was like almost 3 years ago, and I did
Hey, it still counts. It still counts. Not everyone could say they performed at the Improv, so shout to you for that.
I just got a high like regard, you know. But shit, I performed somewhere in it was a weed shop. I don't want to. It's so funny. I'm talking about a weed shop, but I forgot. Van Nuys. It was in Van Nuys. I think I was called. That was probably the highlight of, because like at that point, I let some fat Jewish girl get in my head, because like at that point my act was very raw and dirty. I got away with things because I was kind of likable.
Right.
But she was just like would talk shit about me behind my back. We got into like a little argument. But I ended up learning from her too. But she should have learned from me because she wasn't funny at all. But so like I'm thinking like, damn, am I funny? And at that point too, I did this thing called Comics Watching Comics, and I bombed horrible. I did horrible. I had a horrible audition or whatever. I did horrible. So I'm just kind of in my head, you know. It was like, and then so 2 weeks later, I go to Cali. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not bombing. I'm going to Cali and bomb. So it kind of gave me that more like energy that like, fuck this.
Man, shouts to LA for that then, bro. Good shit.
Yeah, then I started realizing, like, you know what? I'm just in my own head. Fuck it. And she doesn't even do comedy anymore. That's the thing about it.
See, you made it, and she's wherever.
Yeah, because she would get into arguments with like grown men and grown women about what you should do about comedy. And she was like maybe 23, 24. Like, why are you telling a whole bunch of grown men and grown women how to act? We're like 30, you know, some of them was like 35, 40. You're arguing with them.
I can't believe. Yeah, so
you.
It does really seem like comedy is a place where you really have to earn respect, and she's not doing that. Do this again with.
I thought it was like 45 minutes.
Nah, man, that's we've got a good repertoire here, and I really appreciate you coming on and everything. And you know,
man.
Seriously, bro, you could come on anytime you want, especially if you got some tour dates coming up. I'd love to promote them and talk about more of the funny stuff, and it would be a great time. But I usually end this podcast with these last 10 questions. They're called the Press Questionnaire.
All right.
And why don't we get into that, and then we'll say goodbye. So, my first question for you, Cliff Mula, what is your favorite word?
I got a couple.
For this in the questionnaire, what is your least favorite word?
Least favorite word? Oh, I don't know. I don't really. I don't have one.
You don't have a least favorite word? Okay. My next question for you, Cliff. And this is not a sexual question. This is more of a life. I mean, it could be sexual if you want it to be, but it's more of a life question. What turns you on in this world?
What turns me on? I would say you gotta like teach me something. You gotta like be interesting and kind of like knowledge. You know, you gotta be knowledgeable. You gotta know a lot of things.
Yeah, I like that. What turns you off in this world?
I hate like laziness. Not laziness, and I hate people without like cognitive dissonance. You know, they just can't like think of something and like, oh, where this guy's coming from, like closed-mindedness type of things. I hate stuff like that.
I hear that. My next question: what sound or noise do you love?
People laughing.
I love it. What sound or noise do you hate?
People chew with their mouth open.
I fucking meant to that. I know people who do that, and it gives me a headache. Number 7. What is your favorite curse word?
That's pretty much just said that. Maybe fuck.
Fuck. It's funny how fuck is used nowadays. Number 8. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
I like to be like a filmmaker, like a director, producer.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
I would like to be maybe produce records too, make beats.
All right. It's never too late. It's never too late. What profession would you not like to do?
In the old 9 to 5, man.
Excuse me.
A job, period. Like working at like Dairy Queen or something, any service job. I would never work at a McDonald's. Fuck that.
Hear that. My last question for you before we have some final words, Cliff. If heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say to you when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Shit, what up, nigga? You trying to get high? What up, man? You trying to roll up?
That is one of my favorite answers to that question.
I want to talk to me like I want to talk to other people. Like, what up? I got a blunt right here, man. What you trying to do?
You want to try heaven weed?
A drink and a beer. What I mean, a blunt and a beer.
Good times, man. Good times. But yo, Cliff, dude, this was great. I really enjoyed it a lot. You have anything else to say before we bounce out?
You want to say hello to my dog?
All right. Hello to your dog. Yes, I do.
I got my dog's right here.
Oh, okay.
Come here.
What's your dog's name?
His name is Kodak.
Kodak. That's awesome. That's an awesome name.
Come on, get up. You don't want to get up. Come on. Well, I'll show you him. All right, say hello.
Hey, Kodak. Oh, he's chilling. Oh, he's beautiful. He's tired, huh? Oh, there he is. Hey. What's up, Kodak? He's pretty. He's a pretty dog.
Oh, thanks.
But yeah, I mean, it's been great, Cliff. Again, would love to have you come on again. I really do. I laughed this whole time, man. I loved it, and especially when you start touring again, please let me know the dates, and you can come on. We can promote it, and it'll be a great time for sure.
Hell yeah, I'll let you know. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, trust me, it was my pleasure, man. Thank you so much for your. Thank you so much for being yourself. I really appreciate that, and a guest a lot, and have a lot of laughs. I know a lot of people are going to enjoy.
All right, man. Enjoy your day.
Appreciate it. You can check out Ed if you want to check out any of Cliff's material, any of his content. Go to Instagram at Cliff Mula, one word, CILFFMULA, Cliff Mula on Instagram. But all right, thank you so much, Cliff. I'll see you really soon. You're the man.